Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, we begin with breaking news. Employee fired at Carriage Mountain School after allegations of sexual misconduct. Keenan police confirm investigation is ongoing. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Pushed out the door when it matters most. For more than a decade, he's been right there, everywhere. And when American jobs are on the line, he leads the charge. ABC's World News Tonight with David Moore is America's most watched newscast, and we thank you.
Thank you. And we do have some breaking news right now. Administrators at the Cardigan Mountain School in Canaan say they have fired an employee after allegations of sexual contact with a student. They say the woman admitted the incident to an administrator the day the Canaan Police Department told the school it was investigating her. The police chief confirms to News 9 tonight that is the case, that their investigation is ongoing, but no charges have been filed. The school says it is cooperating with police and will be partnering with an independent investigator to see how the allegation incident could have happened.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we will keep you updated as we get more information into the newsroom. New Hampshire AG calls for new procedures in wake of killing of Manchester woman. Assistant County Attorney dropped domestic assault charges against man months before homicide. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
Well, the Attorney General says he wants to make sure that everything is looked at in all cases, but especially in domestic violence cases. Now, Damian Cease was indicted back in December on domestic assault charges after authorities say he strangled his girlfriend, Jennifer Burpee, in October, 9 months before he allegedly beat her to death in her Manchester apartment earlier this week. Now, that indictment was nol prost, or essentially dropped by the Hillsborough Assistant County Attorney after Burpee recanted her story. Now, in the wake of her death, the Attorney General says he learned the county attorney, Michael Conlon, was not aware of the dropped charges. Now he's requesting that Conlon implements a protocol which establishes an internal process to approve when cases are dropped.
We're exploring, given our resources, what's the most reasonable way that we can ensure that in cases like this, specifically domestic violence, that there is appropriate review of the evidence and the case information.
Victims involved in domestic violence cases are particularly vulnerable. And I just want to make sure that we are doing all we can to ensure that justice is achieved in those cases.
And now Conlon will have 30 days to present his new procedures here in Concord to the Attorney General. Live in Concord, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Custer joins growing call for former U.S. inquire into Trump impeachment. First, members of all Democratic New Hampshire congressional delegation to take strong position joins about 100 other House members. U.S. Rep. Annie Custer on Friday became the first member of New Hampshire's all-Democratic congressional delegation to call for the U.S. House to open a formal inquiry into whether President Donald Trump should be impeached. But the four-term lawmaker stopped short of calling outright for Trump's impeachment, saying, "I have not prejudged the outcome." And if you want to read more about that, we will have a link for you on the Riley King Network Facebook page. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Friday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you, as you can see. S&P 500, NASDAQ notched another record close after strong earnings from Alphabet, Starbucks. Stocks rose on Friday after strong earnings from tech giants like Alphabet and Intel, and a better-than-expected GDP print pushed the S&P 500 to a new all-time high. Canadian manhunt, 14 murder suspects zeroes in on small remote town. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Sisters chose Verizon.
We were right in center, front row. I'll never forget that day.
The network more people rely on gives you more. Like a free Galaxy S10e when you buy one. That's Verizon.
Tactical teams now focusing on this remote town in Manitoba, Canada, after these fugitive teenagers suspected of killing at least 3 people, including an American tourist, were spotted there this week.
He's going to be dead today or tomorrow.
The father of one of the suspects, Briar Schmigelski, believes his son is on a suicide mission.
A normal child doesn't travel across the country killing people.
18-year-old Schmigelski and his 19-year-old childhood friend Cam McLeod are wanted in connection with the shooting death of North Carolina native China Dees and her boyfriend Lucas Fowler along a highway in British Columbia last week. The teens have also been charged in the killing of college professor Leonard Dick. Investigators say after traveling more than 3,000 miles across Canada and burning 2 of the cars they've driven, it's now unclear whether they're still hiding out in the rural community of Gillum where they were last seen.
Our investigators are also exploring the possibility that the suspects may have inadvertently received assistance in leaving the area.
As the manhunt intensifies, authorities tell ABC News they're also investigating whether these images play a role in the case. As reported by Canada's Globe and Mail, Schmigelski reportedly sent a fellow video gamer these photos of him holding a rifle, another of him wearing a gas mask, and this one of him with a Nazi armband and knife. And police say the suspects may have changed their appearances. Investigators are now following up on more than 120 tips and going door to door, hoping to generate new leads. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this Friday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.